Thank you. Our next speaker is from the Cure Alliance.
Thank you for the invitation to speak today. My name is Shelley Ross, and I'm president of the Cure Alliance, a nonprofit group of leading translational researchers, surgeons, innovators, and those who support our efforts to end human suffering by curing chronic, debilitating, and fatal diseases. Our number one goal is to eliminate barriers to discovery and accelerate potential cures from the lab to the bedside. I am not a scientist. Most of my career has been in broadcast news, CBS, NBC, 17 years at ABC News, where I worked with Diane Sawyer, Peter Jennings, George Stephanopoulos, Robin Roberts, and more. As the executive producer of Good Morning America, I covered 4 wars and broadcasted live from our Times Square studio during the 9/11 attacks. Today, I am here as a witness from another battlefield, cancer. In August 2012, I found a tiny lump in my breast that was indeed malignant. High fives for early detection, but because of my cancer type and discovery of a mutated BRCA gene, I faced 6 months of chemotherapy, followed by a double mastectomy and oophorectomy. My bilateral mastectomy was April 16, 2013, the day following the bombings at the Boston Marathon. An occupational hazard, I still mark time by news events. My surgery went well. Breast amputations with simultaneous reconstruction, tissue expanders held in place by internal slings made of cadaver tissue that had been radiated, freeze-dried, and repurposed. Monday, 1 week after the Boston bombing, I caught another news report on an amazing recovery of the 31-year-old dance instructor whose foot had been blown off. She was sitting up, smiling and talking about when she could start dancing again with a prosthetic. I could barely move, feeling toxic and weak. I called my surgeon. How is the dance instructor doing so much better than I? She said, well, the dancer didn't undergo 5.5 hours of surgery. Her surgery didn't follow 6 months of chemotherapy, and you're not 31 anymore. Cruel, right? It turned out that toxic feeling wasn't related to any of the above. My body had failed to integrate those structural slings which had been disintegrating and rotting inside my chest. I was no longer on a garden variety breast cancer journey. Just 4 weeks after my double mastectomy, I underwent another surgery to remove all reconstruction materials. When I awoke, I learned my chest cavity was sanitized with shower heads for more than an hour. The area now needed to heal. I can't really call it healing. Without any breast tissue remaining from my collarbone down, there was only one outcome: my skin scarred to my rib cage. I was no longer a candidate for reconstruction, and adding to my personal misery index, the side effects from chemotherapy included multiple tears in the rotator cuffs of both shoulders. By now, dressing, washing, combing what was left of my hair became a painful kabuki dance. Trying to heal was exhausting and frustrating. As weeks of pain turned into months, I came to the stark realization I was disabled. As I looked in the mirror, I saw the devastating reflection, something that resembled a plucked chicken with 2 broken wings. Until that point, fighting cancer involved clear and time-tested decisions. Now I was in uncharted territory. Incredibly, within our own ranks of the Cure Alliance was a remarkable surgeon in Milan who had invented a simple sterile closed-loop technology to microfractionalize one's own lumpy adipose fat into a fine injectable. Basically, there would be nothing to reject. When I first spoke to this doctor about his technology, he was using it for facial reconstructions, bad knees, shoulders, and wound healing. A few months later, he phoned and said, I have treated a patient just like you, and it was a success. That's all I needed, just one. Any risks were mine to take. On December 30th, 2013 in Milan, I had 370 cc's of my own fat drawn from my abdomen and back, then microfractionalized and injected into my breasts. This was followed by reconstruction and permanent implants. As a bonus, the surgeon injected 5 cc's of microfragmented fat in one shoulder, 7 in the other. By mid-afternoon, I was back in my hotel room. 3 days later, I attended a birthday party in London, and back home, I felt whole again. For a long time, I thought the treatment had not worked on my shoulders. It had turned out to be a delayed response. After 9 months, I've suddenly realized I could do this. I could do this, pain-free. As a journalist and producer, I suspect I am a bit more resourceful than the average patient, which is why I'm here today, to respectfully ask the FDA to revise the draft guidance, which will essentially force people like me to unnecessarily bear the pain and disabling scars of a disease we already fear could take our lives. A disease that not so long ago sentenced untold numbers of women to a life of disfigurement and social isolation. This FDA draft guidance states that clinicians can use fat grafting in the breast without restrictions only if it involves what the FDA says is the main function of the breast, lactation. If used for breast reconstruction, clinicians would have to file IND applications, biologic license, be subjected to extensive reporting requirements. Really? Why? That fat transfers can be used safely and effectively in breast reconstruction has been known for over 100 years. That a woman's breasts are not just for babies has been known for at least 200,000 years. And what of the 2,600 American men who battle breast cancer each year? Simple fat transfers are often their safest and simplest option. The protection of patients has long been guided by the principles of the Belmont Report, which clearly distinguishes between medical practice and research of human subjects. The fact that a procedure is experimental in the sense of new, untested, or different does not automatically place it in the category of research. Research is designed to test a hypothesis. In all, the Belmont Report identifies 3 ethical principles: respect for human subjects, beneficence, do no harm, justice. And injustice occurs when some benefit to which a person is entitled is denied without good reason, or when some burden is imposed unduly. Please do not restrict fat transfers for those who need breast reconstruction. Let's address safety and efficacy without building barriers, and embrace this explosive pace of progress in a way that is more respectful and just. Thank you.
Thank you.